Hello everyone, back tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. For today's second video, that's going to take us to just about the first day of June. So we're beginning to move into the start of next month, actually, with the week to 10 day video update. So I'll have a look at that. The GFS extended range and also ECM ensembles run to a couple of weeks. That's going to take us just about to the second week of June. And we'll have a look at the CFS V2 for the next month as well. The 5-day forecast has been released, so have a look at that, see what's going on in the next few days. And this evening, we're going to have the 6th update for the late spring bank holiday weekend. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to say a big thank you to our latest patron. We are now up to 61 patrons. So a big thank you to our latest patron. Pete Devlin has become Gazzo's 61st patron. Big thank you to you, Pete, for becoming our 61st patron. Thanks so much for doing that. And if you'd like to join Pete and all of the other patrons of Gazzo's, what you need to do is come to the Gazzo's patron page, sign up for a patron account, and you can give an ongoing monthly donation to Gazzo's. It can be anything from $1 a month upwards. You will pool in with all of the other patrons, and the thing will just get bigger and bigger. And a big thank you to all of our patrons so far. You're helping us to pay for Gazzovis.com, helping us to keep the website online and keep the content online as well. So a huge thank you to the 61 patrons of Gazzovis so far, and a special thank you to Pete Devlin for becoming our 61st patron. Alternatively, you can just give a one-off donation through PayPal. So this is the Gazzovis PayPal page. Just come here, sign up to PayPal account, and you can send a one-off donation to Gazzovis. And by doing that, again, you're helping us to pay for the website, keep content online, and you'll get a mention in videos. Whether you do it through Patreon or through PayPal, we're going to give you a shout-out in videos and say thanks so much for doing that. So we've been running this since June last year, so we're coming up for a year now since we started this, and just been totally blown away by the response from all of you. So huge thank you actually to each and every one of you for your kindness, support, generosity, and helping us to pay for our website. Thanks so much for doing that. Special thank you to Pete Devlin for becoming our latest patron. And yeah, just something really special that you're all doing for all of us. So thanks so much for doing that. Right, just bring up, Dave, what's happening in the tropical Atlantic. So yesterday we spoke about subtropical storm Andrea, which had appeared in the tropical Atlantic. Now that's gone, so the National Hurricane Center is saying that tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 48 hours. So it only lasted a little while, but we can say that gets us up and running for the 2019 Atlantic tropical storm and hurricane season before the actual start of the season officially, which isn't till the 1st of June. In the video yesterday, I went through the names that we've got for this year's season. And I said, but once you get through to W, wasn't sure what happened after that, but I've been told through the comments by 2 or 3 of you that what actually happens is that if you go through all of the names that have been listed, then you'll go on to Greek alphabet. So I think that's names, or it will be names such as beta and names like that. So apparently that's what we do if we go through every single one of the names that have been listed for this year's hurricane season, finishing with the name W. And I think that's only happened once, actually. 2005, I think we went on to the Greek alphabet after the official names were all used up. I think that happened in the 2005 hurricane season, so it doesn't happen very often at all. But apparently, that is what happened. So a big thanks to those of you for confirming that. Right, so this is how the central England temperature is looking at the moment, with just 10 days left for the month. We are currently standing at 10.5, which is an anomaly of 0.2 of a degree below average. That's provisional up to the 21st, up to yesterday of May. So we're still a little bit below average, actually. That's going to tick up, I think, to around 11 degrees. I'm anticipating this May will finish probably somewhere around 11.0. It's a warming month, so as this ticks up, the anomaly will probably stick around there, actually. It's going to be very, very close to average, I think, with the CET for this month. And it's interesting that it'll be another month where we've knocked off around a degree off the anomaly. So in February we was 3 degrees above average. In March we was around 2 degrees above average. In April we was around 1 degree above average. And now May, I think, is going to come in more or less around average. So since February, where it was 3 degrees above average, month by month we've been knocking off 1 degree. So it'll off the anomaly. So it'll be interesting to see where we come out in June. If we knock another degree off the anomaly, then June is going to be around a degree below average. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But I don't think we're going to get a big deviation either way for May. I think it's going to be very, very close to average. These are how the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles are looking today. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Going to be quite close to average in the next few days, just a little bit above average. So going to be relatively warm into bank holiday weekend, and a slide in the temperature later in the bank holiday weekend and through to next week. And then through the last days of May and into the first days of June. Again, not a big deviation, but there are some much warmer members of the GFS ensembles appearing there. So I've got some ensemble members now beginning to go to around 15 Celsius at 850 HPA. In early June, that would be hot. That would probably be enough to lift temperatures to around 30 degrees if that was to come off. They're not exactly outliers because there's quite a few of them. But obviously they're at the warmer end of the range within the GFS ensembles. Most ensemble members are down here. So as precipitation is concerned, so a lot of dry weather until the weekend. Then we've got some precipitation to come over the weekend, adding to next week. Again, it's not a definitively wet period. We talked about this in the video yesterday. It's not a definitively wet period, but it is looking a little bit more unsettled, a little bit more showery through next week. Then there's going to be first week of June, and this is extended range, of course. So as we go into the first week of June, looks like I've got something of a drying trend. So if you actually put this period here, where it looks like it's drying out, with this period here, we've got a lot of warm outliers, or a lot of very warm ensemble members. It does look as though we might be going into quite a warm and dry start to June. A few hints of that in model output over the past few days. It looks like they're still there as well. Temperature anomalies from the 22nd through to the 30th of May. Very close to average once again. Not a big deviation going on there. Precipitation anomalies from the 22nd of May to the 30th. A bit of a north-south split, actually. So Scotland and Northern Ireland looking a bit wetter than average. England and Wales actually on the drier than average side. This is how the GFS is looking for Saturday, when we're bringing in a bit of a northerly wind, but it's going to be mainly dry. There's a ridge building through the country, albeit quite weak and transient. On Sunday, an area of low pressures heading in off the Atlantic. That could bring showery bursts of rain for Sunday. And as that clears away to the east on Bank Holiday Monday, we start to turn the wind into the north. So cool and showery the Bank Holiday Monday. Into next week, well, high pressure sits just to our southwest. This will keep southern areas on the drier side, but always more unsettled up to the north, with low pressure continuing to bring showery outbreaks of rain perhaps. Into more extended range, heading up towards day 10, signs of high pressure beginning to re-establish close to the country then. As we get through into the first week of June, this high pressure does intensify. This is Monday the 3rd of June, for example. We're under a 1030 millibar area of high pressure. That will bring a lot of dry, fine and warm weather through the first week of June. By the time we get through to the very end of the GFS run, which is the 7th of June, 384 hours away, just starting to ease these areas of low pressure in from off the Atlantic, just starting to bring showery outbreaks of rain into the west, perhaps as that high pressure is beginning to weaken. GFS parallel run looks like this. So again, mainly dry day coming up on Saturday. Then a shallow trough moves in on Sunday. And that could bring some showery outbreaks of rain with it as well. That clears away on Bank Holiday Monday. We turn the wind into the north, so cool and showery on Bank Holiday Monday. And then into next week, well, high pressure has a go at building into the south through the first part of the week, but really these areas of low pressure continue to bring showery outbreaks of rain into the north, and then also a little bit more unsettled actually in the second half of next week. We could all see some rain through the second half of next week, perhaps even down into the south, and generally still quite cool too, with the winds all the time coming from a west to northwesterly direction. That's day 10, and it's the first day of June. Saturday the 1st of June looks like that. Showery in the north, and quite cool as well. Heading into the extended range of the GFS parallel run, so it looks quite changeable, really never settling down, never getting an area of high pressure building over the country with the parallel GFS as we did with the GFS operational run. So there is a split there through the first week of June between the operational GFS and the parallel GFS. It does have a go at building some high pressure into the south there on Wednesday the 5th of June, but it doesn't really come off. Low pressure just comes back in from off the Atlantic. So that's a more unsettled and cooler solution from the GFS parallel run. This is how the ECMWF is looking, and again we've got a mainly dry day coming up, I think, for Saturday. But then Sunday and Bank Holiday Monday looking a bit unsettled, particularly in the north and west, with some showery rain. But I wouldn't rule out the chance of some showery conditions even into the southeast. And then into next week, well, it looks quite unsettled, more unsettled perhaps with the ECM compared to either of the GFS model runs. So this is Wednesday next week, low pressure is in the North Sea, so that obviously will bring showers along with spells of rain, and the wind is coming in from the north as well, so it looks pretty cool there as we're going into the middle and second half of next week. These areas of low pressure keeping going. Much more away of northern blocking as well with the ECMWF, you'll notice. Still really high heights there up towards Greenland. Low pressure over Scandinavia and in the North Sea. So essentially we remain cool and unsettled as we get to day 10, which is Saturday the 1st of June. These are the options that are on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. This is taking us to 240 hours away. It's Saturday the 1st of June, so you have 30 members of the ECM ensembles, including the control and operational run, that have a trough of low pressure over and to the east and northeast of the country with a ridge of high pressure out to the west and the northwest, so cool and unsettled there with those options. And of course it does include the ECM operational run, which is the run we was just looking at. Then there's 21, but again, have this trough of low pressure to the east of us, but they have a little bit more of a ridge down to the southwest. So although, yes, they are quite showery probably and relatively cool, just a little bit drier and warmer, especially to the south and west from that ridge of high pressure sitting kind of like across to the southwest of England, somewhere around the Bay of Biscay maybe. And then in 2 weeks' time, this is to the 6th of June, so it's 360 hours away, a very long way out. We have 21 members of the ECM ensembles with a trough of low pressure over just the east of the country, so they're cool, potentially very cool and showery. There's 18 that have high pressure up to our northeast, low pressure is down to our south. They're probably bringing in an easterly flow and probably relatively warm, but from a low pressure down to the southwest, maybe a bit volatile, maybe a bit thundery. And then there's 12, a minority option that has high pressure taking over here as you get to the end of the second week of June. Low pressure's up there, the jet stream's pushing northwards as well. So obviously they're looking a lot drier and a lot warmer as we get to 2 weeks out, taking us to the 6th of June. Finally, the CFS V2 is looking like this. So these are 500 millibar heights, so they're broken down into weekly periods. The first week period will take us from the 22nd to the 28th of May. The coming week will have above average heights over into the west northwest of us. So a lot of dry weather on offer, but potentially quite cool and quite showery with the wind from a northerly direction. Driest weather, of course, would be in the north and west. Week 2 also looks quite cool and showery now. This is 29th of May to the 4th of June with below average heights then as a trough of low pressure to the northeast of us, a ridge of high pressure is out to the west and also over Greenland. So again, quite showery and potentially quite cool. The wind is in from a northwesterly direction with that sort of scenario. And then we're into week 3, which is the 5th through to the 11th of June. High pressure then was sort of receding back in towards the northeast and east of Europe. Low pressure is out to our west. You will think with that the heat and warmth will be in the east of Europe, really. And for us, probably quite cool and a little bit on the unsettled side, especially out to the west. But then we go through to week 4, which is the 12th to the 18th of June, and then the high pressure has moved across to the west of Europe. Low pressure is being pushed out into the Atlantic, so that's bringing a return of warm, maybe even hot, east to southeasterly winds there from the 12th to the 18th of June. So it still remains quite a confused picture, actually, for the next few weeks, as it has been over the past few weeks. A lot of uncertainty within the model output, a lot of options that are on the table. Next week is still looking cool and showery. We're waiting to see just how unsettled it's going to get next week. How much rain will we get out of this? We're waiting to confirm that. And then it's going to the early part of June. I still think the hints are there, but we might see something a bit drier and warmer through that first week of June. Not necessarily hot, not necessarily a heat wave, but certainly a bit drier and warmer maybe through that first week of June. And then, of course, we're waiting to see where we go beyond that, because that's really extended range and unreliable time frame stuff. Right, that's it for your second video for today. Come back later on when we'll have the third video, which is going to be the 6th update for the late spring bank holiday weekend. And tomorrow, of course, got another week 10-day video update coming up tomorrow. And that's all for now, though. Thanks for watching.